Jake, welcome to Dot Wave.
Welcome to Dot Wave.
Hey.
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 Welcome to Dot Wave.
Welcome to Dot Wave. My name is Jake Justice.
And I'm Will Weigel. Dot Wave is a show about the performing arts, music, film, comedy, and everything in between, which I think is like the whole internet. Not Web3 yet, but like maybe.
We're going to be talking to world-class creators and artists about their work, about the culture, about their creative process, and what they're contributing to the world with their art.
And we're going to get a couple weird, embarrassing stories if things go really well. Like and subscribe. Do it. Really like it. For this, we need it. Seriously, look at him. He needs to be liked. I need to be subscribed to, but he needs to be liked. It's deep with him.
For our first guest, we actually got Mikul Wing from Autograf. Autograf is a huge EDM group. They have tens and tens of millions of streams on Spotify.
Bangers.
They tour all over the world. They've played at all the major music festivals. And they've recently been getting really big into the NFT space. So we wanted to sit down with Mikul and talk about that, and specifically on how they're using NFTs to propel their music into the future.
Hi, Michael. Hey. So
we're back.
We're back.
First of all, how long has Autograf been going on? And then how does that get to you're doing NFTs in 2022?
The Autograf's been going on for what, like 7 years now, I think. So it's been a long time. Our intro into NFTs, though, was through this whole pandemic thing. Our tour was cut in half. Essentially, we're doing an album tour.
I hated that thing.
Yeah, everyone hated that. So we had our tour cut in half and kind of just took like a 6-month break there for a while and like rethought what everything was, thinking that there would be like a fall tour, we'd be back on the road. And then there wasn't, I think people started pivoting into like, what do you do next? And it started for us, we did like a lot of the Insomniac streams and other live streams like that. And I got in touch with someone who works at Decentral Games. It's the casino in Decentraland. It's in a casino where you can gamble real cryptocurrency. And
so just to interrupt you, what is this? So it's in the metaverse in Decentraland. Yeah. There is a casino where I can gamble crypto.
Yeah, so you could take your crypto.
Is there a rehab in the metaverse for when you get addicted to gambling crypto?
So Decentral Games, you can go in there and you can gamble like your actual crypto, like play roulette with crypto. They also did this thing called Ice Wearables, which are NFTs that are wearables in Decentraland. And those wearables give you access to private rooms that are like P2E, play to earn type. Gaming.
So wearable, if I were thinking about it, like let's say Call of Duty, like I got this specific like weapon skin or an outfit.
Yep.
And then that actually is like an access card to a different room where now you're creating some exclusivity in that world.
Yeah. And in that room, when you're playing, you are actually playing to earn their native token. So you're not actually gambling your money, you're gambling like their token. And then you're actually able to cash out their token. So you buy the NFT to get the access. And then through that access, you're playing to earn essentially, so there's no more other cost on your end once you're in that room.
That's interesting. And so how does that benefit them to just be handing out tokens? Is that like minting, or how does that work where now those are now out in the wild? Are they just creating more?
Yeah, so there's like a set, like you can go to like Uniswap or something like that, you can swap those tokens back to ETH or even to like a stable coin like Tether, or even cash it out to USD through like however you want to do it.
Cool.
So there is like a value to those. And for them, I mean, they did the initial NFT sales, which raises money. They do a lot of other like in-game stuff or like in Decentraland stuff that generates money. And there's also secondary sales on these Ice wearables. So there's this idea that how much is this wearable that maybe you bought for X amount of dollars? Is it worth more now because you can go into these rooms and play and make money now by wearing this thing? And especially when it comes to like more like the Philippines, this is really big. Like people will buy these.
The
Philippines, it's huge there because people will buy it and they actually will rent out their wearables to people in the Philippines who can actually play for way longer. Because let's say you're only making $4 an hour playing, like for maybe in America that's not really worth it.
Yeah.
But if you live in the Philippines, making $4 an hour all of a sudden becomes way more worth it.
This is making me think of World of Warcraft in like 2007, where you would pay a Chinese person to level your character for
exactly.
you. So your labor is worth less, but it's still worthwhile to them.
Yeah. I actually had a friend who like sold like his WoW character for like a lot of money. I was like, really, this was like a long time ago, but he was able to like sell
So
that character.
that laid the groundwork.
And what I think
Yeah.
is interesting about NFTs is like, imagine back then if your WoW character was an NFT, and not only is it usable in that game, but then as there's potentially other games, that NFT is transferable between games. So like as it stands now, you can't really transfer your assets that you own in a video game to the next game. But
Yeah.
in theory with an NFT, you can very easily do that because
Yeah.
it's a digital asset that you then own that you could use in other games. And
Well, it's interesting because now I'm trying to like I'm really understanding the decentralized thing where it's like this will work anywhere. These are useful. There is a utility. Whereas if you're in like the Activision world, you can transfer some skins and stuff between your Blizzard games and your Activision games, but you're not going to be able to then work that in Fortnite.
yeah.
So it is cool, and then it shows you how this will work across global economies.
Yeah.
Of everyone's going to get to participate in some way.
Yeah, and then it's really up to the game developer if they want to integrate the use of certain NFTs into their game. And in theory, that could create a bigger market for their game because they know people have collected these NFTs from this other game, and now all of a sudden they
Yeah.
can transfer them into this game, and they're like, oh, I want to be able to play games that are compatible with my past NFTs.
Interesting. I just saw yesterday Unity and Insomniac are teaming up, and they're actually going to start doing digital shows. I would assume it's kind of like Metaverse, sort of like what Fortnite's doing, but probably more creative control to Insomniac because
Yeah.
they know how to get crazy. And I've been to EDC
Me-
and everything, and it looks
Yeah.
beautiful.
I mean, Insomniac, I mean, their streams were pretty next level for like what they were doing back then, just the production level.
Yeah.
We actually recently did it with NFT Oasis, is the name of the company that did it. They did we did a Metaverse 3D like Oculus type set with them that's going to be coming out soon.
Okay.
So we went to their studios here in Los Angeles. We filmed it. It's shot in 3D. They have like a huge green screen around us and stuff. And then they're able to actually take that set and place it into a Metaverse world where then with like an Oculus on, you can then go experience that set, which was pretty crazy because we were there and we were watching someone else's set before we did our set, and it was
Yeah.
really cool to be able to see them like doing that set in this cool crazy virtual world.
And when you do stuff like that, do you still maintain like your identity? Like, does it still feel like it's an autograph set? Is it your actual face? Are we doing avatars?
No, so for that one it is shot with just cameras in a green screen room, so
Yeah.
it's just shot 3D in a green screen room, so it is actually us DJing
That's pretty
in
sick.
the world. But then I think like in the Fortnite example, like there was like when Travis Scott or whatever was performing in there,
Crazy.
he was like some crazy giant like
Yeah.
person. So I think you can really go both ways. You can be like some sort of avatar based character, or it can be shot in 360 video, and then also with stuff like mocap suits, which are like you can wear them and like then be your 3D character.
I would love to see you and Lewis like terrorizing downtown Tokyo, like
Yeah.
performing.
I
Like,
have some friends. They do a lot of work for Nike, and they came to our studio with their mocap suit, and they were shooting stuff, and they were doing like breakdancing in these mocap suits, and then you could see these 3D characters breakdancing simultaneously on the screen. which
That's
was
fucking
really
awesome.
cool.
Because I mean, I worked in EDM at Spin, and I used to work for your agent. Oddly enough,
Shout out Rob.
shout out Rob Wu, and David Brady and his two poodles. But I remember going to like a Nightmare show, or I'm friends with Kilogram, who was in Milo Notice, and they had like crazy visuals, but it was still very 2D.
Yeah.
And then you do the light show, and then if the artist wants to push for it, you do cryo and pyro.
Yeah.
And then it feels very immersive, especially if it's a good venue. But now it feels like you can do some really crazy shit in the metaverse. But do you think that's going to translate back to the live world, mixing with music?
So I think like the idea of like augmented reality in
Yeah.
live shows is going to be huge in the future, be it through some sort of like glass wearable, or even if you're at a festival, if you don't take your phone out and then see things in like an augmented reality world, just through your phone is like a very simple way to do that.
And that's easy partnerships, because I mean,
Yeah.
I work in marketing now in video games. We want to pitch that stuff all day 'cause
Yeah.
it's easy, and you get a lot of attention on socials.
Yeah, and it's cool. Like, I don't know, my friend, he did this NFT project with these little aliens, and like you can literally bring your alien up, like throw it on the couch and see it with your phone. And
Yeah.
yeah.
so tell us what you have going on with NFT TEA.
Yeah, it's
Tell us what
NFT
that's about.
social.
Yeah.
It's our Tuesday.
Because you're kind of like taking over the NFT scene in Los Angeles. It's kind of crazy.
There's a lot going on.
I mean, I went
but-
to like, so for the first NFT event was in what, January?
Yeah.
And there's what, like 30, 40 people there maybe, and it was in the backyard. And then at this most recent event, it was up in this huge house in Beverly Hills at the GeoJam's house, right? Because you guys partnered with them, and there's like hundreds of people there. It was crazy
We're-
on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday, yeah. Yeah, so we've been doing every Tuesday. We do the NFT social meetups, and we kind of cover different topics of how NFTs are being related into our lives, and just Web3 in general, how it's like becoming more useful. So the last one we had was with GeoJam. They're an amazing like platform where they reward users for like listening to stuff on Spotify or Apple Music or interacting with like your socials and things like that, and you're going to be able to actually earn their. So right now they're in a point system, so you earn points, but they're actually transferring over to become a token-based system where you earn like the Jam token, which is like an actual currency that then can be used to redeem like different experiences with artists and things like that. And you can also then take that Jam token out of their ecosystem and you could swap it for Ethereum or USD or anything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say to somebody who's like, comes up, she's like, Michael, I want to get into NFTs. I want to get rich really fast. Like, how do I do it?
The American dream.
The American
I
dream.
feel like
I don't want to do
hear
work.
So much of that.
I have
so many people getting into NFTs. Like I watch these like YouTube videos on like, I made $300,000 off NFTs in 2 months.
That stuff is so cringe to me.
Yeah, but you know the ones I'm
Yeah,
talking
I know
about,
exactly
right?
what you're
It's
talking
like
about,
these
yeah.
bros who are.
Yeah.
The hype is kind of real. I was going to ask you, like, does it feel like 2010 with Bitcoin? We're like, oh, this might be fucking real.
So I mean, definitely, if you were buying a year ago today, like, and you bought a lot then, yes, the hype is real. Those NFTs are probably worth a shit ton now.
Right.
If you bought a Bored Ape for a couple $100 last year, it's now worth 6 figures, potentially 7 figures, depending on the rarity, which is insane. But right now, there's so many projects, and this idea of get rich, don't do work, like passive income through NFTs. I don't buy it because
Like it sounds like an MLM to me when I see stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's where I get skeptical of NFTs, to be honest, because I see, and I'm like, really?
yeah.
So, how do you differentiate
So I think
between
one
like the real?
Yes, I
and
think
the
one like
fake?
when buy NFTs that you're generally interested in, be it for the utility, be it for the art, for the community, whatever it might be. Like, get into those.
Is it worth taking the time to like scour the internet for NFTs to like just for the sake of trying to find ones that will be worth more?
I mean, yeah, like if you want to put in the work and really dive deep and look at what's coming up, you can definitely get into the business of flipping NFTs and make decent profit doing that. But it's
Right.
not no work. It's a lot of work, I think, to be in Discord all day long, tracking down what's going to be the next hot NFT, looking at things minting, being able to mint things like right as they're coming out. It's a lot of work. So it's not this like passive income get rich scheme that like you'll see people on YouTube like, oh, like if I had $300, this is how I would 10x my money in 1 week. Like I don't think that's realistic unless like, yeah, you buy one NFT for $300 and that like happens to moon or you get something rare and then you sell it for
right.
yeah.
What were we just talking about, though? I was curious on, do you think young artists, if you're in college right now, like at Pratt or the New School or something in New York, and you're seeing a lot of this money get made, and with social media, as you were just saying, like, the person who does get rich fast also goes viral fast. So you see more of the highs and more of the lows. So it feels like you're missing out. You build that FOMO. So what would stop an artist from being like, I'm good at painting, but I'm going to move toward coding, graphic design, or whatever it is that gets NFTs made?
I mean, I think if you're an amazing artist, you should definitely be getting into NFTs right now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a reason not to, and find a collector base for your work. I mean, I think it's just as hard to become an NFT artist as it is to become a traditional artist, though. Like, you still have to build hype around yourself as an artist and build a following. It's not like, oh, I'm minting NFTs and all of a sudden they're worth $10,000 each. It's not like someone's just, because it's an NFT, they're going to buy it necessarily. But I think if you're a skilled artist and, especially in the digital art realm, like, that's definitely something you should be getting into right now.
Well, do you see the parallels when you were starting out as a music producer or DJ where it's, hey, we're making some good music, but like we also have to market the fuck out of ourselves to actually get paid to tour live. Like people need to buy tickets to my stuff.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you have to have some sort of following in order. Like as a musician, like, yeah, you could just put music out there for everyone to listen to. It doesn't mean it's going to rack up Spotify plays. It doesn't mean you're going to go play a show and people are going to come to that show.
Yeah.
Same as being a visual artist. Like just because you put it out there doesn't mean someone's going to buy it.
And then that leads me to, is there a role for people who serve like as agents and managers who help build artists and know like the right moves to make to get the word out, get your shows or whatever it is?
I mean,
Is there that role for NFTs and artists to get them known and be that translator toward them and a marketplace, let's say?
Yeah, I think there's a couple ways to go. I mean, I think having a publicist can always help, especially with getting like write-ups about your art that then create more like, I don't know the word for, like.
You don't want to say hype right now.
Yeah, I don't want to say
I could feel it, but more recognition.
More recognition,
perhaps?
I guess. Yeah, like you
Good one.
get a write-up in like Forbes or something, and you get a good publicist and get you that, like, yeah, that's gonna help your career. And as a musician, the same way, like we hire a publicist. Like when we got our write up in Forbes, it's not like it came about like, oh yeah, let's just write these guys up in Forbes. Like we had a publicist pitch our story to Forbes, and Forbes was like, yeah, that's an interesting story. They're releasing, this music and this album. Like let's do a little piece on it or whatever. So the same way, like with an artist, like having someone that is constantly pitching you so you can spend the time being creative, I think is useful, and having partnerships like that. But also finding within the community, like finding people that resonate with you as a person that want to collect your work, because it really just takes a couple people to kind of get your career off the ground in the NFT world. So
you just need like one crypto millionaire to
get
you going.
Get you going.
Can you tell us about your art here?
So one with our art, it is all one of ones that we've done, and we have attached as much utility as we can to these. So
what does that mean, one of ones?
So like a lot of times people will do additions. So like I could do like,
with different qualities,
or even
right.
just like a piece like this, you could do like an addition of 20, like an art print type thing.
Right.
Whereas this is a one of one, so there's only going to be one of these and one owner for this particular piece. Mm-hmm. But then this piece also gets you access to stuff like free tickets to our shows, backstage passes, bottle service. We'll be giving away like an EDC ticket coming up, stuff like that. So there's definitely a lot that we're trying to build into our project.
So it's like becoming part of like the VIP club of Autograf. By getting, you don't just get the artwork, but you get access.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And I like to think that, the art I made is amazing and I love it.
No, it is great. But, I actually talked to a couple, one guy, I forget his name, but who bought one of your NFTs at the party. Yeah. And he seemed like very happy and satisfied.
Yeah. And it was cool because I think he bought that piece at NFT Moonfest in Vegas. They were all up for sale at that festival and he bought it. And right away we had a way for him to contact us through that sale. And we invited him backstage when he bought the piece, and we got to hang out and got to meet someone who was generally like, he was very like interesting. Like he was a cool guy to meet. He does a lot in the music industry in San Diego. And like, I think it's a connection now that I've made where that's someone that I will continue to talk to and we'll continue to work on things in the future. So it's kind of cool in that sense.
He told me all about his cats, and I wondered if like he saw
that's actually exactly
that was the cat guy from
I made the connection. I was like, I wonder if
so he actually said he was looking at them and he saw this one because he said him and his girlfriend they breed like
he was even telling me he'd be willing to do a trade if I'd help him out with some music stuff. I'd get one of his Savannah cats.
I'm
like, wow, I actually might take you up on that. They're like $7,000.
They're expensive cats.
Yeah, they're cool cats though.
So you really love this piece because of that. It's actually bought this stuff here.
That's cool. And I think it's like the same thing with music where it's like you want to find people who will connect with the art that you're making. Yeah. Right. And it's like if you can make something, and it is that fine balance, right? It's like you want to make art for you, right? But you're also making art for other people, right? It's like, how is this going to connect? Like, what does this mean?
Yeah, and what is
to somebody?
Where do they derive the value from that art? Like, is it just owning like that, just a representation of the song, or is it through some of that utility that you're going to offer to them?
Right.
You think like, okay, like we're gonna do some stuff for NFTLA, and like there'll be bottle service to be able to buy for that, which will probably be like whatever, like $2,000 for bottle service or whatever. Like at a club, it is. But if you have one of our NFTs, guess what? You get to like come share our table with us for free because you bought our NFT, and that's something that's gonna be like ongoing in the future for like shows.
So like that's built into your rider of like, listen, we're doing NFTs. You're gonna supply an extra bottle. It's happening. You're gonna have some people in.
So yeah, we're gonna be setting aside.
What if like some crazy stalker buys your NFTs? What if they're just like absolutely crazy? What do you do?
I don't know.
What if they're just like happen. Totally psycho?
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
I mean, is that where maybe you have like an exit clause in your NFT contract? Is that a thing?
I mean, all of their information, and I'd imagine there's some like wiring going on to buy the NFT, so they're pretty vulnerable if they're buying.
I guess I don't have to like go sit at that table with them if they're crazy. Like, yeah.
Well, awesome. Is there anything you want to add, like maybe where we can find your NFTs on OpenSea or wherever?
Yeah, autograf.xyz.
Nice. And you got a new song coming out, right?
I do. Love Runs Deep.
When is that coming out?
Comes out this Friday.
Which will maybe be out by then. It's probably out by the time that
check out our song, Love Runs Deep, out now.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then to end, you're going on tour soon. I heard from a mutual friend of ours. Correct? Like, do you have shows coming up?
We have a bigger tour we're planning. That's for
Okay.
fall.
Oh, never mind.
I guess I can
Stay
announce.
tuned.
Well,
Hey, my NDA was spin from
Yeah.
7 years ago. It's still in place.
we have so we will be releasing an album this coming fall called Affirmations.
Wait, is that out? Like, do we know about that?
Is
Friday,
do people know?
Friday people will know about this.
Okay. Is
Which
it,
by the time this is out, people.
Yeah, that's like
okay.
2 days from
we've
now.
affirmed affirmations.
Oh, we have affirmed that
So,
affirmation
check
is
out-
coming out
yeah.
this fall.
Affirmations.
Will
our
there
album will
be
out this
any
fall.
NFTs coming out with the album?
Yeah, so every song has a like this one is tied. Every NFT we made is actually tied back to a song.
Amazing. Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Michael. Appreciate it. All right. Cool.
Okay, so Tinder is teaming up with the guys at Facebook to bring you Tinder for Fighting. So, as most of you know with Tinder, you make a profile, you put up some pictures of yourself, and you swipe to find a positive connection with a like-minded soul. So, Tinder and Facebook are taking that to the next level and using that model for consensual arguments. So, as you know, the world is a crazy place, and we often don't even know who to be mad at. Like, for example, are you pissed at COVID? Are you pissed at Putin? Are you pissed the people are pissed at Putin? You don't know.
Whenever my girlfriend gets mad at me, I tell her that I do not consent to this argument.
And that's within your rights. So now you can build a profile with all of your interests, such as baking banana bread, your views on class struggle, your politics, and whether the dress was yellow or blue. And then you can build that profile and swipe to find people who have opposite views and then have a direct argument with them using the Facebook algorithm and really get it all out in a I think it's like a mind health thing. Forrest and Kevan, you're going to Bali.
Actually,
Wait, fuck, Sri Lanka?
Sri
Well-
Lanka first and then Bali afterwards, I believe.
yeah, we're gonna play it by ear, but
That's the plan.
the plan is to. We have one-way tickets booked to Sri Lanka,
Mm-hmm.
and then once we have done our time in Sri Lanka and gotten everything that we want to get out of it, then we are going to go to. Oh, am I 3?
You're 4.
Oh, I am 4. Okay, well, I just want
Yeah.
to make sure we're being the one with the SM58. I got to be careful. But anyhow, yeah, we're going to begin in Sri Lanka. We're going to have a good time there. I've actually been there before. We're going back to a place that I really loved, and I think it's going to be very fun. I think we're feeling a creative renaissance coming.
Would you say that you're a travel bro?
That feels
You're all
What
kind
does
of
that
travel.
mean?
You guys just like travel.
Are there any
and
travel bros?
You don't
I
really
guess
worry
for
about
sure
anything.
there are.
You just kind of like travel, and you like meet girls, and you go surfing, and
I mean, yes,
dinner.
absolutely. That is most of my life. Would I consider myself a bro? At one point in my life, I'd say yes, you'd be dead on. But at this point in time, I'd say I'm not really a bro because I don't identify as a bro anymore.
you don't identify as a bro. Are you a trans bro?
I'm
He's
in
bro
the process
2.0.
of
Bro 2.0.
transitioning. No, but for sure I was one point a bro, but I would say I'm not now just because
But you're
of like
travel
what
bro.
I do. Like
Right.
I like do artsy things most
You're an art bro.
days, and
I
guess
I think I can answer this.
You can see that.
I think
yeah.
that you're somewhat correct.
Yeah.
And the reason being is that I don't think for as long as I live, I will ever identify as a like stuck up kind of too good for people artist. And while I'm not trying to say that the opposite of a stuck up too good for people artist is a bro, I would say that
Like mainstream. Like you're a little more
I'm mainstream. I wear blue
Yeah.
jeans and black t-shirts and
Just a normal guy.
just a normal guy.
Yeah.
I feel like the bro thing has so many negative connotations.
Exactly. Well, okay, I'll
Yeah.
tell you. So I mean, actually, both of us have traveled quite extensively, and I do know the true bros that I've met. For example, you go to a hostel, and they've literally traveled halfway around the world, and all they want to do is just chug beers all day and go to popular clubs. And while I would say that I'm not quite on the whole, like, I'm going to go live in the rainforest for a month, I'm certainly not showing up to a place and immediately hanging out with people that are exactly like me. It's a happy in between. I'm a relatable guy, but I don't think that I want to be hanging out with the typical bro
Right.
folk.
And I would say at one point I was a bro, traveling around, like basically fucking partying all the time. Was in a fraternity where I definitely was a bro, partying more. Actually, no, it depends what. No, I partied a lot like when I first started traveling, but I guess I wouldn't refer to myself as a bro now, is because I'm into art. Like I meditate every day. I do breathing exercises. Like
That's
I
something a
don't
bro would
drink,
say.
and I feel like everything I do in my life makes me not a bro, even though maybe people look at me and think I am.
You how has your experience as a bro affected your art?
I guess at first it affected my art. This is weird to refer to it like this.
You're making it sound like rehab.
But
Once you got clean from
I understand
lacrosse and
though,
beer.
because it's like, because you have to break out of that mindset, because if you're a bro, kind of, I hate
The bro
talking-
mindset, the hustle mindset.
I hate
He hates
saying
this.
this word so many times.
It's weird that Jake
It's
keeps asking
horrible.
questions about it.
Cornered him.
But I would say honestly, like it did affect my art, because when I first wanted to be artistic, I felt really weird and insecure about it.
Can we ask you a couple questions
Yes.
since this is their first episode?
Yes.
So I'm going to start with very, very general first grade questions.
Okay.
Sitting up for
I'm
this.
just genuinely curious. So
Right.
what was sort of the inspiration for getting this going? Because it's fun.
Well, let's talk. This is a great intro to this in general, I think. Why don't we just start off with how we met?
Right. Family's gonna watch this, but I'll just say I was especially social when I met Jake, and it was the first night at school night when it was back, right?
Right.
And,
By the way, my family's not going to be watching this. I'm not sharing this with
oh,
them.
mine's super supportive. It's gonna be great. The last question's
See, at
later.
least there's one of our families that's
But we'll dig into that on episode 2.
That might be too early.
Starts like a Joe Rogan episode where it just like immediately jumps in. Jake's just in tears. Just cuts. Episode 2.
So I was at school night and I was just like super extroverted and being kind of crazy and like making fun of anyone and anything.
School
I
night,
saw.
by the way, is not at an actual school.
Right. School night is at
It's
Avalon
a night at the
nightclub,
bar. They let in
sidebar.
18 and under.
Jesus. Yeah, it's like the Epstein
Just kidding,
Island
yeah.
of LA. Jake like goes a lot. But we ended up meeting because I was seeing an old friend because I used to work in EDM. There's actually this Australian guy who goes by Keely Holiday now, who I want to have on the show. But he's part of a really famous DJ duo and now kind of like an alternative act in Australia called Peking Duck. They have fucking awesome music. I'll plug them. They've been around for like 10 years already.
He's
whatever.
part of Peking Duck?
Yeah.
Ooh, I like Peking Duck.
You know Peking Duck.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome. He lives in LA.
Really?
So I was seeing him, and then I don't know, tequila shots happened and stuff, and ended up meeting Jake, and he was with Emmy,
Not Emmy, Amelia.
Amelia. But yeah, you take it from here. That's how I met you.
Right. I don't know. Like, I think you just were really funny, and you had very insightful jokes that weren't stupid. Like, they were, they were really funny, and I could tell that you got it. I was like, this guy gets it.
Well, I think
Because a lot of people don't get it.
and I think when LA people say when they meet someone who gets it, it's because you can kind of take the red pill through, and I'm using red pill in its original term, not what the Republicans are doing. But it's, you kind of see through the bullshit, the vanity of LA. I think you two are kind of similar, where it's like, I need to be friends with real people because this is a very, very weird, scary city in some ways, and it's a lonely city. But at the same time, anything is possible here if you have the right like friends, family. And I think when I met Jake, it's like, this dude gets it. We're gonna vibe, and then we could do friendship and business immediately, and it was fun. But take it from there, and it's like we end up just like, let's start a fucking podcast. But then Jake texts me like the next day, is like, so we're actually gonna do a fucking podcast.
Because so many times in LA that like people talk at parties or concerts or whatever, like, oh, we should like collaborate, bro. Yeah, let's collaborate, bro. And then like you just never hear from them again. Like nobody here follows through.
I've started so many bands, so many businesses, so many empty conversations, and then you're like, all right, cool, we're Instagram friends now. I'm gonna see this person's
Like
life
so
till they
much of
die.
the hard work is actually just sifting through people who want to work.
I'll be honest though, I've something I've noticed in my time here, although I haven't been here recently, but when I was here, I noticed that people are not very good at just saying no, or they're not good at just
Yes.
letting go. And actually, I think I've gotten better at it to the extent where I'm pretty quickly it's not to say that I'm trying to be an asshole, but
No, it's actually more considerate. It's like,
Well-
I don't have the bandwidth to do said thing.
or even exactly like, especially after first meeting them, like you kind of just want to put it through a bit of a test. Be like, I think you're cool. Obviously, in your guys' case, you vibed very quickly, so it worked out well. But there's so many people that have even been kind of like, hey, man, like, we should work together on something. And, I just kind of would be like, yeah, possibly. Or this is probably just not going to, like...
Well, as
don't
a
wanna
musician, I bet all the time,
Yeah, I mean, I think
right?
maybe as
But
I...
some people act enthusiastic and then you never hear from them again.
Dude, I love everything you're doing. You're so amazing, Forrest. Like, holy shit, can't wait to grab coffee tomorrow.
And they're like, actually, sometimes they won't actually not answer you. What they'll do is like, oh, I have this thing, or like they'll be busy, or then they just keep like pushing it off until it doesn't happen.
Oh, it's the polite ghosting.
The polite
It happens with
ghosting,
dating
yeah.
sometimes too. It's like, oh, I can't do Tuesday. All right, cool. We'll check on Wednesday. Yeah, let me check my schedule.
And then like
And then
Wednesday,
you
or
keep it
even
going,
they say
going,
they can
going.
do Wednesday, and then the day of they're like, oh, actually, I have this thing, like I can't.
Yeah,
they
like
just
my
keep-
family just died and it's bad, but like Thursday maybe. Like I'll see. I'm gonna go to this NFT event with Autograf on Tuesday. I don't know.
But then they're like, oh, but if you want to come to the NFT event, the thing I'm already planning on going to
With
anyway,
clout.
that won't, take away from.
Well, I think the reason is they sift out like, oh wait, does that person have value to my career aims? Because you get a lot of that in LA.
I think that's a huge
And-
key too.
I spent a lot of time in New York, and like New York drunk friends actually become friends sometimes. Because it's like, well, we're all trapped in this giant jungle, and that person likes getting drunk. I don't care what they do as long as they can afford to go out in New York. They're a friend.
I also feel that, yeah, like they might be enthusiastic at first, but then they like check your value or whatever, and then like, I don't know. And by check your value, it's like, how many Instagram followers do you have? And it's so fucking dumb. And then I've had it the opposite too, where like sometimes there's like no enthusiasm, but then they find out what you've done or who you know or whatever, and then they get excited, and that's really easy to spot too.
So have you done this to people?
Have I done that?
Have
to
have
people?
you ever like made a friend and then been like, actually, I don't want this friend?
I mean, I can't say no to that because that would be bullshit. I can't think of any specific examples. Like, I'm trying to be honest here.
Yeah,
I think I did that a lot when I first moved here.
same.
And that was like all I could think about. It was like, how do I get my career going? When that was like the only thing I was thinking about, I think I did it more. Now it's like, I mean, I could have looked at your Instagram following and be like,
Yeah, I don't. I haven't posted
first
since
rift.
2019.
First problem between you two.
Will, you're just not like pulling your weight with IG, dude. And sometimes your stories, like, they feel like you're kind of making fun of people who make stories, but you're also still putting out a lot of stories, Will.
I think you guys need a content strategy to build that up.
Yeah,
but I think it is good that we met at
still better than
at
Putin.
like the current point in each other's lives, because now I don't give a fuck. It was more like, wow, he's really funny, he's really talented, he's really smart. Like, this could be something. Like, you have actual qualities that matter.
Value.
Yeah, and I could say the same shit about this motherfucker.
No,
He
but
just,
I
like,
want value.
gets
I
it
see
done.
value in you. I'm not, you know what I mean?
I'm joking.
Come on.
No, but like Jake and I definitely value ourselves more than you two, but we're happy with it. And like, I'm not gonna say which one of you two is fourth place. But let's bring it back to you two then. Like, you are collaborating, you're traveling. How did you two become friends, and why, with being so busy and all these opportunities, you're like, Kevin's my guy?
So Kevin and I met when we were both tour guides in Florence, Italy. And we both
Fuck yeah.
we joined this company.
That's so cool.
Everyone was very real there.
We were
You
also
know?
forced to be real. So like
Yeah.
the kind of the dynamic.
Arrivederci.
Yeah. What does that even mean?
Grazie.
Again? we learned an
Olami.
We learned an embarrassingly small amount of Italian.
Yeah, that's something I always regret.
But so yeah, we were
Inglorious
tour guides.
But
we weren't. We worked for this company that would take American students studying abroad on trips. So it was primarily like college juniors, and we were also salesmen. So we'd go sell trips. We'd take people on these guided trips of anywhere from like 30 to like 600 people. There was 30 or so guides living in Florence. We all had a bunch of different apartments, and we were all around the same age, all Americans. Yeah, so it was a great job. We got to tour all over Europe, and it forced us to be pretty real because of just the nature of the job. It was busy, it was time consuming, it was stressful, and so we all got to know each other pretty quick. As far as Kevin and I goes, I'll admit when we first met, Kevin was he was in a party phase.
A bro.
Definitely.
It was great. I liked him, but it kind of over us knowing each other during like the 6 or 7 months we worked there. Like I witnessed his transition. I would say from maybe exiting the bro phase and entering into like a more artistic Renaissance phase. And while I thought he was a good guy the whole entire time,
We're better to have a Renaissance than Italy.
In Florence.
Exactly.
It was the second Renaissance. First was like those idiots who made the statues, and then
It was really probably when I got home. Then I got sober and had health issues, and so like I was pretty depressed, and then threw myself into like trying to become actually a good photographer and filmmaker, rather than like a guy who parties and travels and also takes photos that are mediocre.
so did you like
And yeah.
channel that? Like I'm not saying you were like I know we're kind of joking like you were addicted to partying, but like
For
when
sure,
you party
yeah.
a bit, you get good at partying.
I
And like
was
there's like 6 things to do
one
at
of
a
the
party
best.
to check off, and it's
Yeah.
like you got to do all of those.
one of the
But then
best.
if you focus all of that energy on like photography and video, I'm sure it was great.
Yeah, it was.
He was a gold medal partier.
Seriously,
I
It's
would
like,
say,
hook up with a
honestly-
chick, do this, do that, be the man, like
I mean,
crush
yeah.
some drinks.
If that was kind of my goal, like to drink more than anyone, to get more fucked up than anyone, and then also at the end of the night to still be able to like get a girl. And I feel like I reached that phase kind of. Sometimes I send things to girls and I immediately regret them.
But selfie?
Well, I
Whatever you do, you just have to be too confident.
Do I have an app idea for you, Kevin?
Also,
I just sent her like randomly like on a podcast. Ha ha.
All right. Okay. Let's wait.
And I
Before we
immediately read
pull
what
up,
I said, and I'm like, I should have thought of something
can I
more
have
clever.
Can I interrupt for 1 sec?
Yeah.
I need to
the
do
chair
I
now
need to do
recognizes Forrest.
I need to do a
Yeah.
Forrest rant real quick. And
Okay,
this is
let's
I'm
go
going to
for it.
introduce a topic before we pull up that video
Okay,
of me.
well, we'll just have it up on.
Exactly. Okay. All right,
deck.
gentlemen. Let's listen up real quick because I'm going to go on a quick rant.
All right, let me get off my phone.
Okay.
And I want your opinion on this issue. So it's funny.
disagree.
So Kevin and I've had a slight disagreement as of lately about a certain topic, and the disagreement is inspired by a somewhat newer mentality that I've had lately, and the mentality I've had lately has been inspired by the fact that traditionally I'm the kind of guy who likes to share a lot. And so my general mindset change lately has been more of a show, do not tell mindset, as in I want to either talk about things that I'm actively doing or things that I've already done, or talk about ideas to people that are literally involved or going to collaborate. But I feel as if this mentality of trying to share a little bit less also extends into the way that I would like to interact both with like socially with guys, but also like when I'm interacting with women.
You got to
You know?
leave a little bit of curiosity.
Well, so
I feel like
that-
women like a little mystery. They want to like peel it back.
Exactly. Another thing too that I realized, which is my mindset now, I could change. It was obviously different a couple months ago. It might be different in a couple more months. And this is something that Kevin and I were talking about, is that before I was always under the, like I had such a strong desire to maintain authenticity that I thought, well, you know what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to be myself. And if being myself means I'm going to send like 4 fucking paragraphs to someone, or I'm going to send a selfie whenever I want, not trying to disparage you, but
Well, you can just be more of yourself. You can be yourself, but just not as much.
Well, what I'm trying to say
like
is like
5% of your true self.
Exactly.
Five.
Well, so
It's high.
so I guess what I'm trying to ask of you guys is, do you think there is like a certain level in which holding back a little bit doesn't sacrifice your authenticity, but just plays it a little bit more? Because I'm really against the idea of playing it cool, but at the same time, I think if I were to meet the girl of my dreams in the first day or week or whatever that I met her, she just told me everything, or was just very like, you know,
Ugh.
it just feels like there's a
on that
certain
one.
it's a really tricky thing because like I'm saying, you got to be cool, but at the same time there's a certain level of natural sharing.
I would
And
say.
I'm wondering where the line is.
I would say the line is how you reciprocate with them.
Yes.
Like you kind of got to match their energy. Like if they are really excited to hear everything about you, and maybe they're sharing everything about them, and you're genuinely interested in hearing about all these things, then like
That's fine.
reciprocation I think is the key, right?
Well, that's also you using game strategy.
Kevin
with
is reciprocating
tat.
right now.
I'm making a joke because I needed to say something clever.
Here, can you guys actually rate?
How do you spell Parmesan?
Yes. Well, here, let's pull it up. We'll fact check.
What are we
that.
doing?
Let's live text this girl right now. We'll just pull it up right here. So
So I just sent her a selfie, like unsolicited, like
Jake,
I'm
a
on a
little dead-eyed
podcast. Ha, ha, ha.
that selfie.
But then we were just talking. Joking. I was joking with her about like how she put.
Is that your
Parmesan
Kristen
on her
Stewart
tuna,
face?
And then I'm like, we're talking about tuna and Parmesan on the podcast.
Kinda looks like her,
There it
actually.
is. That's
Right?
clever
You kind of
and
have
funny.
like the.
Yeah.
But
the
I
dead
would
look.
say like I agree with that, but like for me, like personally, I've spent most of my life trying to play it cool and like trying to not like, and my tendency is to not reach out and not talk and like not text really. So I'm trying to like show my
I used
personality
to
more
be a
through that.
genuine oversharer, and then I had this one like totally toxic douchebag bro friend, who's like a really good friend of mine, and he taught me how to not be that way. And once I stopped being that way, oversharing, like my success level went through the roof.
Well, I think it's all about finding a balance. So, for example,
Yeah.
myself being an oversharer, sharing less makes sense, whereas I guess maybe Kevin being a more...
Undershare.
Yeah, it makes sense to start sharing
Right.
a little bit more.
I think
Yeah, I
I'm
think
definitely an
so.
oversharer at
Find a
heart, to be
balance.
honest, and I am traumatized from oversharing, and so I don't share at all.
It's funny.
actually.
It's
I'm the
funny because
same way.
I've had the opposite experience from undersharing, because there's been multiple scenarios with women who just like assume I don't really give a fuck about them.
It's because you have that. You look like
Yeah.
that though. That's so. It's like they already have the expectation.
it's not
for
fair.
that.
Like how
So
I can't even
it's not
control
fair.
what I look like.
You have hot privilege. You just look like you don't care though. So you are at a disadvantage where
Yeah.
if you, it's almost like you should overshare because their
Oh,
expectation.
they should trade phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should
Maybe.
overshare because their expectation is that you don't give a fuck and you're going to undershare. So you're subverting expectations by oversharing.
Yeah, I know. I need to overshare, and that's why today I had an argument with Forrest. Like not an argument, but it was more like
A hot
like
debate.
maybe I'll tell this like, oh, I think I'm gonna text this girl. Like, what do you think? Like, I had a good time at this concert last night. Like,
Did you kiss?
I think you're really cool, and I like you, even though that's weird to say.
No, I feel like that works because I'll do that
Yeah.
like straight up honesty.
But
think
I
women
thought it was like very straight up and honest. Like,
Otherwise, she's like at
Yeah.
home agonizing, like I don't know how it went. If you just tell her it went well, but you're still not like piling on, I feel like that's fair,
yeah,
and that's how you feel.
yeah, and I need to be honest with my feelings because there's just been multiple
You're also
times.
just naturally not an aggressive person. So I
Yeah.
feel like they're not going to feel that energy from you saying that.
But that's why it might be
Yeah.
a nice surprise. Like he was super chill, but then like I got this text the next day. I was like, "Fucking into me. Let's go."
Yeah.
By the way, he's leaving for months.
I already told her that. So
How
But
many
I feel-
days left do you have here?
I've texted her enough to know that she knows. I've invited her to a bunch
can
of
you
things.
guys, can you guys give me some advice here? Okay, so this girl out of the blue, I haven't talked to her in like weeks. By the
Is
way,
this part of the podcast? We're
In
just gonna have
weeks.
your text with girls on.
so, no, well,
A
she-
new
you,
segment.
you need to blur the name.
There's
Text
a
with
lot
Jake.
of Michelle's. out
There's
there.
no last name.
Yeah. So okay. So
Obama.
she out of nowhere just texts me a WID, which is so aggressive, by the way.
Yeah.
There's no more like aggressive acronym
How is
out
that?
there.
Wait, no. How is that aggressive? That's really nice. What are you doing, Smiley?
No, but if she were to type out "What are you doing?" that
Yeah.
would not be aggressive. That's just like I want to know how you're doing.
What
But
are
when
you doing? Sounds like you're talking to a
abbreviate
kid. Like, what are you doing?
Well, I have a question. What is the nature of the relationship before this "What are you doing?" text?
Just second base.
Actually, you know, it's really funny. You're correct on that. It's only second base.
There's been some nipple touching.
Is this the
What?
podcast now? I'm happy
No,
to
no,
be here
no,
on the
no, no,
Dude,
inaugural.
no.
he's putting his
we
text up. I gotta know what's being touched and why. How does it make you feel?
Well, what I'm asking,
I feel like okay. So she straight up told me that she wanted to hook up with me, but it just never happened. And then like I don't know. There's
Michelle.
So the nature is one of attraction. It's not like, what are
Absolutely.
you
No,
doing? You say,
absolutely.
But his
I'm
hunt
here all
is
alone,
done.
and she's like, I just wanted to go to.
No. It's definitely like
An
we
NFT
met
event.
we met at a party and like we made out like within 10 minutes of meeting each other.
That's good.
Great party.
Yeah.
Wait, so
That's always nice.
are you like getting
So-
cold feet now? Because now there's no hunt for you.
Okay, no, but-
now it's just like, here you go if you want it.
I don't know. So anyway, I sent her this picture, I guess, recording. How about you? And she said, "Nice, home. You look good." And
Yeah,
now
you're
what do I
in.
do? Do I throw a "What are you
Like-
wearing"? Because I
No.
can't remember to send a picture.
No.
No.
What do I throw down?
Dude, what
do I
Maybe.
throw down next?
What is this, a phone
What
call
are you
from
wearing?
the 90s?
No, I don't think so.
Ask
What
her.
do
I mean, if
next?
you want to get nudes, I don't know who
Dude,
this girl is, but
no,
maybe she's down.
She's very
Tit
hot.
for tat game
Yeah.
strategy. She asked you, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You sent her a recording.
like you look
She
good
didn't
too.
answer.
But she said-
she's home.
Here-
She
here's-
said
here's what you
she
can
looks-
say,
She
though.
said I look
What are you-
good.
then just
Here's
She
what
say,
you
said
could
you
say-
look good. Now
here's what you
ask her
could-
what she's doing tomorrow.
Here's what you could say though. Also, it'd be like, "You look good too." Oh wait, I can't see you.
Oh, that's a
Let's try
great
it.
line.
Yeah.
You look good too. Oh wait, I can't see you.
Oh,
See, that's
I
good.
would never.
Asking
I feel like that's hot people
asking
privilege.
for a picture without asking for a picture.
Let's pull it
Well,
down.
No,
now, so we
he
don't get-
should
we don't wanna
have.
get-
He should have put a sad smiley face at the end of that because she's a smiley
Yeah.
person.
You can put one now. It's
Smiley
fine.
or frowny face?
Frowny
Frowny face. You're very upset. You're very upset about this.
Yeah. That's good. Like you want to see her, and
All right, and then I think
Yeah.
Fucked up. If she were to send a picture, I feel like
If-
we gotta blur it out.
no. I think if she doesn't respond in 2 minutes, we call
definitely
her.
don't send her the podcast.
No, she would like that. She would actually like this. That's why I
Okay.
don't feel any
Yeah.
Sure.
any remorse about
Even
this.
me. Okay, great.
Yeah, no, say whatever you
But
want.
you should
Shameless.
just be like, "What are you up to tomorrow?" If you want it.
if
See, the
you
thing is-
want it.
No, if I ask no, if you
How-
want it,
how
or
am
you
I
asking
wrong
me if
here?
I want it.
If you
Yeah.
want it,
I don't know.
Look, he's doing the face, but he's still texting.
wait to see what she
You
says.
can't just dip one toe in to sex.
You can't
I mean,
do-
You can in some countries.
You can't six text. You can six text. That's wrong. But
You started him sexting, and then he's not even sure if this is the path.
See, this is the great thing too. Like, I'm at the point in life where I truly don't care. So this is why,
But like, you could, I guess, hook up with her and be emotionally unavailable and state that before you hook up. Being like, "I'm not in a great place, but like, you're attractive."
oh, she
so I'd love
knows.
to
She
try
knows
it."
I'm very unavailable.
Oh,
Well, that's why she's texting you.
She knows.
very unavailable.
She knows exactly how.
there's
unavailable
something
I am.
very attractive about an unavailable person.
Yeah.
I've started to notice that. I used to like try to pretend that I was available to people, but now like I will like be open about how unavailable I
Like,
am.
this is a mess. Don't get close.
And
I want it. It's dangerous.
It's
This topic?
great.
Oh.
It's actually like
They want to fix
Oh, you
you.
mean-
Yeah.
yeah. It's good.
Reclamation
Yeah,
project.
for sure.
Reclamation.
It's human nature.
Right. Here's a question. Do you think that, and this is to somehow tie this back into like creativity?
Yeah, we've been going for 50 minutes. How are we ending this? We've kind
Uh,
of
Bring it back, bring it back.
Yeah, no, but we're gonna
Let's
bring it
talk
back.
about the most insightful
hope
thing
this
yet.
didn't
Well,
Stop
so
recording.
no, but what
How
I think this is actually a really good question and very relevant to all of this. I really hope she responds before.
I
This
have
is
another
over.
rant too, so go.
Yes, keep your rant in mind. So my first question, taking all of this, relating it back to creativity, is like the motivation behind doing what we do in the arts, music, whatever. I mean, it's very sexy. Is that part of the motivation?
It's just like for me, it's kind of I'm chasing a feeling. Like I think my whole life has always been about that, and it's like
That is a good rock star response.
it's just like
Mick
it sounds so
Jagger's
cheesy,
boring.
but like sometimes when I'm playing guitar and you get in that flow state, it's like it feels like there's just like energy coming from the world. Like I'm not a super spiritual guy, but it does. Like it's just energy, and it's like flowing into you, and where your fingers meet the guitar and your picks meet the strings, and it goes out to the amplifier. And like if you're really in the flow state, which like as I've gotten better at the instrument, I've progressively gotten like more able to do, although still a long way.
Do you give yourself like the tingles? You know what I mean? You're like,
I mean,
"Ooh."
music makes me like get goosebumps and sometimes cry.
Yeah, no, it's like I always think of "Gimme Shelter" when the
Yes.
female vocalist, her
And she
voice cracks.
Yeah.
I still get
It does.
goosebumps after like 1,000 listens.
Yeah, it's just moments like that, and I think that's kind of the feeling that I'm chasing in creativity, and it's just a feeling I can't get anywhere else. And
Yeah.
so therefore, it's it's kind of like my dad has a small business, and he's just the kind of guy who's probably going to work till he dies. Like, I think it just kind of runs in my family. Like, my grandfather was like sailing the world. Anyway, like, it's just like that kind of just, you have to do it gene. You know,
That's sick.
and there's just like nothing. Like I said, it's either now or it's when I'm 50. Like, so might as well be now, because like I'm either gonna have a midlife crisis or go for it.
Yeah.
Because you know, I've been doing this for a while and I've just barely scratched the surface of putting shit out there. So it's like, you know, it just keeps coming back.
What about you, Jake? You're a fellow musician.
Why do I do it?
Well, why do you do it? But what about flow? What really gets you into the zone? Like, you seem to love writing.
I have the same answers, Forrest, where the best feelings I've had in my entire life, by far, have been on stage performing in front of a lot of people. And I can think of like specific instances where they're, like there's no better feeling, especially when you hear like thousands of people like singing songs that you helped write. Like, that is insane. That is absolutely insane. And there's nothing better.
That must feel really good.
I am chasing that feeling.
But with it all being you.
What do you mean by that?
Like, have you written songs where thousands of people are singing
yeah.
your songs?
Well, like
with you
when I was in a
performing them?
band in Utah, like that happened, and we like developed a really huge, at least local following.
Yeah.
In Utah, and we did some like really big shows. We opened for Kelly Clarkson. We played like a couple stadium shows, and now I just want to get that feeling everywhere, all over the place, or even on the internet. I don't know.
I have to ask, like, and this is going to relate to our conversation with Mikul about NFT, metaverse, and all of those fun buzzwords that we're now stuck with.
Right.
I kind of like them now after that interview, though. Do you get the same feeling if you guys, when your video gets watched, anything you shoot on YouTube versus when you show people and you see the reaction in person, or if you play in a room versus being like, I might play in the metaverse someday with my song playing or something like that? I feel like the artist isn't going to feel as good.
Yeah, fuck that.
No, fuck that. Yeah, I've heard like Web 4 is going to be this thing where you like
breathe oxygen.
You breathe out. You go out and you do things in real life. Like, that's going to be the next iteration.
We should start pitching that at those NFC parties and see if people catch on.
I
So
have
we have
real
this-
prints.
You can't be in it all the time. You have to usually shut off. I mean, recommended turning your system off is like 8 hours. And then I don't know, you can have different like levels of energy, if you would. I don't know how you define it in Web 4.
Yeah, I'm going to say something very controversial here. I think Silicon Valley is like doing some really great things and doing things that are like literally destroying us as human beings.
No shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like, so I'm definitely more of an analog, real world guy, for sure. I've definitely had more amazing feelings from live performing in front of people as opposed to just being on the internet.
But you have to play the game. If you're going to get the biggest
Sure.
live performance possible, which is your flow state, your high, or get the most views on your artwork to then get a bigger
Right.
audience.
My dream situation is not to, like, I don't want to have some sort of thing going where, like, I just tell everyone, okay, well, I'm just going to do one more year of a grind. Like, as soon as I can get something stable that's making me enough money to get by in, like, Los Angeles, I'll be chilling. I don't need to, like, I don't got, like, some deep personal problem where I can't, like, you know, be a dad or something. You know, I'm trying to say, like, I'm not running away from anything. Like, I'm just trying to, like, do something I love and survive. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
I
that's-
feel
Sorry,
very
that one really
triggered.
sounds
I feel
real.
very triggered.
I just meant, like, you know, some people use work as a crutch, and for me, I'm just trying to use it as a tool to have a good time, experience things that I like, and then just live my whole
agree.
lich. Like, I want to be on my
Yeah.
deathbed thinking I did all these things, but I don't want to think that I used one as, like, an excuse not to do another. So, I mean, that kind of went a little deep there for a
Hey,
second.
we got there. I feel you.
Be sure to like and subscribe
Yeah, for sure.
Like and subscribe for more.
so that
More
you won't
da-
regret it on your deathbed.
It's true. I don't want to regret things on my deathbed.
Right. Well, thanks guys for being part of the debut
Yeah, the inaugural
Yeah.
Dot
podcast.
Wave.
Thanks
Hopefully
for
you guys
having us. This is cool.
Dot Wave, baby.
Dot Wave, baby. Hopefully you can,
I like
you can
it.
like, Jesus.
She's calling.
Oh, no.
Should we bring it up?
You can answer, yeah.
So loud.
Oh wait, it's FaceTime, so she would see us. Hey,
Now you can see me.
what's up?
Eating.
You're on the podcast right now. We're recording.
Oh shit! I didn't know you were recording a podcast.
It's okay. I was asking for advice on what I should text you back.
Seriously?
Yeah, and then my friend Kevin was
What?
like, "You should say like." Were they good on their advice?
I mean, I FaceTimed you, so it's up to you to decide if that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is.
This is Michelle, by the way.
What's up, Michelle?
What's up?
I'll call you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that's the end of the pod right there.
I
Perfect.
can't top that.
I told you.
Mic drop, Kevin.
Always take advice about girls from me.
How did I do on the full transparency though? Was that a good move?
She was laughing.
Yeah,
she looked
liked
genuinely
it.
pleased.
Really liked it.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, with that note, be sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button.
God. We're those people now. I have to face it. Thank you for listening to my silliness.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. Do it. Really like it. For this, we need it. Seriously. Look at him. He needs to be liked. I need to be subscribed to, but he needs to be liked. It's deep with him.